Welcome to Ear Biscuits. I'm Link.
And I'm Rhett. This week at the round table of dim lighting, we have Elle and Blair Fowler, beauty and fashion vloggers and real-life sisters. Their main YouTube channels are All That Glitters 21 and Juicy Star 07, both started in 2008. They've got a combined subscriber base of over 3 million and over 400 million views. And I gotta say, I think that these sisters are very, very much responsible for pioneering the style vertical on YouTube that attracts so many advertisers today.
Yeah, their makeup tutorials and clothing hauls, among other related videos, keep viewers coming back weekly, but the girls have expanded their online personas to create their own makeup line, Skylark, and handbag line with online retailer Just Fab. They were featured on Teen Vogue, 17, Marie Claire. I'm speaking out of school here.
I go with Marie, but I don't really know.
I know Glamour. That's a magazine, as well as New York Times and Wall Street Journal. I mean, that's kind of thing. I'm speaking a little out of school here, so I was excited to get the backstory and to understand what makes them tick. You know, they're pioneers. They're helping shape a medium.
Well, because this is a huge deal. I remember the first time I saw a makeup tutorial video. I didn't actually watch it personally, but I saw
your makeup wasn't perfect afterwards.
I saw a thumbnail for it. I was like, that's weird, and it was probably either Blair or Elle. I don't remember. And then I started seeing more and more. And just to give you some perspective, if you watch YouTube videos on a regular basis, you already know that this is a huge slice of the audience. This is a huge slice of YouTube and online video in general, is the beauty and fashion videos. But this is such a big thing that there are people like the Fowler sisters, like Michelle Phan, who have built empires around these videos that started as girls in their bedroom telling you how to put on makeup.
Yeah, and as a listener, you may not be into this type of content, style hauls, makeup, fashion, and the like. I mean, but it's still a great listen because, as I said, I feel like I really gained insight into two of the people who are shaping an entire world of content. Mm-hmm. It's truly a phenomenon, and it's something to be reckoned with.
Right. We talked to them about dealing with online hate. Do they get an unusual amount because of what they do? We talked about their relationships, the struggle of being online for so long and being out there in the public eye, keeping those relationships private, and then what happens if they become very public.
And plus their relationship with each other. I mean, there's got to be competition there. What are the similarities between the two of them, the differences? It was fun to explore that, as well as answering critics who say that their content is too superficial. Mm-hmm. Should they be doing more? Is there a sense of responsibility there?
We'll get into all that and more. Here it is, our ear biscuit with the Fowler sisters.
Rhett and I, we do wear makeup in some of our videos.
Quite a bit.
Well, I wasn't going to say quite a bit. I was going to say, sometimes if we have to.
I'm going to be
like if
truthful.
I have a shaving accident and then we're shooting a GMM, I'm like, the makeup has to happen.
Oh, I'm going to come right out and tell you, I wear makeup on every episode of Good Mythical Morning. You see how greasy my forehead and nose is?
Well, you don't have to tell me. I was just going to cover for you.
I mean, I cover myself with makeup every time we get ready to film, but I don't really know what I'm doing.
So at this point, it's when you can say, guys, it's okay to wear makeup.
Well, it's totally fine if you'd like to wear makeup, but I can say that I have been around a lot of guys on YouTube that like to film wearing makeup.
Yeah, and
what do you story?
What do you
no, I don't.
What do you think of that? And tell me the story that you're saying you now don't have.
No, I think it's totally fine. I think especially if you can joke about it, but then if someone comments and is like, "Wow, you look like you're wearing makeup," and you get all defensive and you're like,
"Right?
Oh my gosh, I would never do that." All that. I just sit there and I'm just like, "Oh, you wouldn't?" I watched you.
Why wouldn't you wear makeup on camera, though? Like, I think it's completely normal for guys to wear it on camera. Now, in your everyday life, that's up to you.
I don't do that.
You get to make your own decisions.
I don't wear makeup in my everyday life.
You don't look very shiny, so I'm
individual.
He doesn't look shiny because he's wearing makeup.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
No, I mean, I don't know, maybe I washed my face this afternoon or something.
Now, I will say, I washed my face 10 minutes ago.
Okay, there you go.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
You washed your face for us?
I washed my face for you.
You got to understand something about Link, though. I want to say,
a habit.
You can be flattered and you should be flattered, but Link will wash his face Like sometimes I'll be like, "Where is he?" And then I'm like, "Oh, he's in the bathroom washing his face." I think he's addicted to it.
And that's kind of
tell him it's not good for his face to overwash his face. Y'all know this
His
stuff.
face looks good though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we should wash ours more.
Yeah, I probably should.
But I mean, you apply makeup. Yeah, okay. I wear some makeup in Good Mythical Morning if I'm like real shiny. But sometimes every time. But I will
just
also,
a little bit though. I want to
just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. It's not like it's not like eyeliner. Just
We love.
We don't wear
eyeliner.
lipstick and eyeliner.
Like a pirate.
Yeah, we could just turn it into a pirate show.
Yeah, that's a good look because it is a mythical morning.
It is.
Pirates aren't mythical, Elle.
They're real.
That would be like, that'd be like if you were like, we're going to turn you into a unicorn. That would make sense.
Well, those
it's
types of pirates
morning.
are a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
eyeliner pirates. If you go to
Yeah.
Ethiopia, off the coast of Ethiopia, they're not wearing eyeliner.
No, I mean like Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
I mean,
I understand.
in my dreams, that's what they look like.
Tell me about the story of the guy who denied wearing makeup. Now that we've come clean,
I think if you
Elle threw you under the bus. She was like,
Elle,
"Blair
I
has a
didn't mean
story."
to.
No, I think it's something that
You're not going to say who it was, is that?
no. But you could probably, I mean, if I gave you 3 guesses and the first 2 didn't count, you'd still probably be able to get it.
So I get 3 guesses. This
But-
is dangerous.
Yeah.
Usually it doesn't. We don't put somebody this on the spot until later on in
this
the
is
year.
kinda
Biscuits. So
early.
we'll let you off the hook.
We'll come back to that.
But yeah, I mean, in all seriousness, I'm not ashamed of the fact that we wear powder. I mean, I don't wear as much as an anchor, like a news anchor. But this is how we.
Thinking of an anchor in the ocean.
Yeah, because we were talking about pirates.
This is
Yeah,
this is our effort to try to connect with your content because it's
Oh.
because you talk about
Well,
makeup
we do a lot more than just makeup.
Oh, really?
like fashion.
I know
Yeah.
you do. I'm not being facetious. I know you do.
I do book reviews sometimes.
I do cooking videos sometimes.
I make videos on my cat sometimes.
I make videos on my dog sometimes.
This world is expanding very quickly.
Yep.
But you don't have
I do
any-
home decor videos sometimes.
But if you have makeup advice for us, you feel free to give it at any point. I mean,
what type of translucent powder? Well, are you using translucent?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's
What
step
kinds?
1, which is pretty good.
It's rice powder.
Oh, well, he's like unique.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you use? Rice powder?
I
He
use
uses the same
his
thing.
makeup.
Is it
Oh, you guys share.
is it
Is that-
loose
is that
or
bad?
Is it pressed?
Is it loose or pressed?
Loose.
It's loose.
Is that
You
no,
use a brush?
No, I don't. I use some sort of little. It's like a pad of some kind.
Okay.
What is the
I
Pads are questionable.
yeah,
I would use a brush,
same.
but a different brush. You should use a different brush than him.
Yeah, because his oil will go onto your face,
Mhm.
and then you guys will both be oily.
That's already happening.
Yeah.
He gets my oil all the time.
That's been happening for 3 to 5 years.
Long-
As it
longer
turns out,
than
I
that.
guess.
That's why he's addicted to washing his face.
I did notice.
Trying to get your oil off my face.
I did notice
Gross.
that if we make a video where we hire a makeup artist, like some narrative video where we're in a music video or whatever, and they do other stuff
Yeah.
with brushes. But then if we're doing GMM, I'm like, I don't want to just be Mr. Shiny Man, so I'm just like, but I'm patting it down a little bit.
How often do you change that pad, though?
When the makeup runs out, it comes with the makeup.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
no,
no.
that's, yeah, no.
The amount of bacteria that is harvested on that pad is a lot.
Well,
like
we
a
don't. We,
lot.
we don't
Really?
harvest it.
No,
We
it-
leave it on the pad.
I
I
promise
hope.
you it's harvesting
it's
itself.
harvesting itself.
But it's good bacteria,
No,
right?
no,
Like the
it's
kind
really
that is
bad.
in yogurt.
But like their skin is clearer than
Yeah,
ours.
I know. That's why I'm like, well, what are you doing right?
They're using rice paper powder.
We are using rice powder. Yeah.
Rice paper is a MAC eyeshadow color.
Yeah.
That's the same color as rice powder.
So I need to be
Full
using
circle.
a brush.
You need a brush and you need to not use that pad. We should just
Yeah.
throw it away.
Remember when Julian Smith gave us this really long tutorial on wearing makeup? And he said, my aunt told me you're supposed to wash your face, moisturize your face thoroughly, and then put rice powder on top of that. And that's why you use it.
I feel
Okay.
like ants use rice powder. Like our ants do.
Probably, yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know why I use it. I mean, I think
mean,
it's
it's
just because I
clearly
just went
working.
and bought
To
it.
take the sheen off, man.
No, I know that, but I don't know why I chose that. Because I was like, I don't want something with color on it because I don't want it to look like I have makeup on.
Right.
And it seemed like it was translucent.
Yeah.
Can
we
we
could talk about this all night.
Yeah, clearly.
Actually, we can. I've pretty much run out.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, can we instead talk about? I think our other point of connection is the South. Now,
Yes.
y'all are from Tennessee, right?
We
Tennessee.
sure are.
So whereabouts? And where do you live now?
We live in LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you live together?
We live in the same building, different units.
We used to live together.
It was a little
We
too
moved out here
close to be
together.
in the same apartment.
We weren't very good roommates. We tried so hard. We didn't make it.
Yeah.
If we were a
failed.
couple, we would have broken up.
Okay.
Yep. Hashtag
Okay.
divorce.
Explain that. Tell me that conversation.
We're just very different people. As like girly as we both are, we're just incredibly
You know what it
different.
is? We both are OCD with neatness, but only with like the way we want to keep things neat. So we constantly were arguing over like the same type of thing because we wanted to keep things organized differently.
Like we just like
That's
are
a
very
problem.
different on so many things. We needed our own space, so we got our own space, and now I love it.
we're like best friends again.
Yep.
Sometimes that's the way it works.
How bad did it get?
We like screamed at each other.
We never screamed at each other.
I screamed at you.
Maybe
I
she screams
screamed
at me.
Yeah, maybe I screamed at you in my mind.
So
She
that's another
screams at
difference.
me.
You're a screamer.
I'm not a screamer.
Elle is not a screamer.
Do I ever scream?
Have you ever hit each other?
No.
Okay.
But so what was the fight over that broke the camel's back?
It was probably over that little cabinet in our hallway in between our bedrooms that
Oh,
I
that
wanted to turn
cabinet.
into a coffee bar, and
oh
you
my
wanted to
gosh,
hold our
that
towels
was
there.
So stupid. Why do you need a coffee bar upstairs when there's one downstairs? Can you not walk down
It's
a flight
like
of stairs?
the perfect little corner.
It
for
would make no sense
would
to
have
have the
been
coffee
so
upstairs. We would have had to buy another
It would have
coffee
been
maker.
so cute.
I do
No, it
think
wouldn't have.
that
we
would
needed
be
a
a
place
little
to
excessive.
hold.
It would have been cute.
We
We needed a place for our coffee mug collection that we both collect, so it's half your problem.
okay, but we had a place in the kitchen cabinet above the coffee maker.
Who moved out?
Me.
Okay.
So
and
does
is-
that mean
is
you
the-
were wrong?
No, it means I was very right.
Well, technically, we both moved out because
Yeah.
our lease ended, but it was her. She's the one that was like, "I'm moving."
I mean, our
sister.
lease was ended for a while, and we were doing like month to month because
Yeah.
we can't get our stuff together. And
So, but the conversation to let's not continue to live together, was it your idea, Blair?
You know what, though?
I think
have to say, it kind of the chips fell into our lap
yeah,
to do that because we were kind of discussing getting our own places, but we were also at the same time looking for condos together. Like we were still going to buy a
Mhm.
place together. And then we just happened to find a building that had 2 individual condos within our price budget in the
Oh.
same building. It just kind of happened.
But the being in the same building, that's pretty cool.
yeah, we can still have coffee together every
We
morning.
have coffee together all the time.
I was going to
because
say,
we
how
collect coffee
often are
mugs.
you in each other's apartments?
day.
We got our nails done today together.
Yeah, look at my nails.
It's better than ours, I'll tell you
Yeah.
that much.
None of them are the same, and they all have a character on them.
Yep.
Yes.
And
Mine
did
has
you make a
cat.
video about this?
Not yet.
We got
I will.
them in honor of Teen Choice Awards. See, we have little TCA bubbles.
TCA.
Were you nominated?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And when did that happen? That was just
Sunday.
like, okay.
Well, there's
Well,
this Sunday.
They're this
Oh,
Sunday.
the,
Like,
the,
we don't-
the awards
Yeah.
are
when
this
were
Sunday.
They
was
just
a few
we
days
found
ago.
out, yeah, recently, like last
4 days
weekend
ago
or
maybe.
Monday.
Yeah.
So does the red carpet? Now, first of all, for women versus men, I mean, the red carpet is dudes just wear a suit, right? You know, and for girls, it's like
It's a big deal.
everybody's going to be looking at you. The pressure is on. I mean, this is like heightened expectations. So how do you meet those expectations?
We
meet
took
them.
risks
Yeah,
with our
our
dresses
dresses this year.
They're a
risky.
risk. They're not
In what
quite,
way?
They're
It's
not quite
Like it might
teen
fall
choice.
off, or-
No. I mean, maybe mine.
Well, yeah, yours might.
Yeah.
No, it's just every red carpet event has a style. They all have like a reputation for the type of dresses
like
you're
the
gonna see on the
range
carpet.
that you should be
Yeah,
in.
exactly.
Like the Oscars are everyone's going to be in a
In
full-length
gowns.
ball gown.
Right.
And then the Teen Choice, typically you wear
little short,
a shorter
like summery dresses.
dress.
Kind of casual. Billboard Awards, you can get away with anything you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
It's a whole range. So we kind of went a little bit outside of what would typically be seen at Teen Choice.
Now, I will tell you one thing. By the time people are listening to this, it will have happened.
So they
Okay.
Okay.
they're Googling right
Okay.
now.
So
Okay.
I would
They're
love for
Googling and judging.
I hope I don't have a fashion mishap.
And we're
though.
not going to tell anybody any details from this. So I
Okay.
would love to know the approach that you're bringing to this
Okay.
and how you think people
So-
responded to it.
So I'll pull up your picture so they can see it and help describe. So
Oh, wow.
we are being dressed by a really awesome designer, Michael Costello. So we went into his showroom and tried on a ton of different dresses, and
We walked in, we were driving there together, and
Yeah.
we said we can do anything we want, but we have to pick short dresses. Like
Yeah.
you don't see long dresses at Teen Choice. It's a summery event, it's casual, and it's teens. A lot of teens are young and youthful. They don't wear gowns.
You're not doing short dresses.
no,
You're doing tight dresses.
They are tight.
Well, we're a little bit known for our bodycon tight dresses. We pretty much always wear tight dresses.
So mine is like a hot neon yellow with a really low back and an awesome like train that then goes into this black fishnet. And it's so cool.
And then,
that's
you've
why
got
my nails are neon yellow.
You've got like neon yellow, and then Elle's got like
hot pink.
Hot pink. It's kind of like you got to squint when you look directly at the dress.
Is there glue involved in this?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to have tape on the sides because when I like lean forward, it looks like it's really tight, but it actually this area just kind of, and I like can't wear anything under it because it doesn't have a back.
What is this glue stuff? We actually were just talking about this the other day.
Fashion tape.
Yeah, fashion tape.
So it's basically, like that double-sided tape you can buy at the store.
For like Christmas presents?
It's
okay.
basically like that.
It's not glue.
It's not butt glue.
No.
What's butt glue?
Butt glue is what
it's like a
you
spray.
spray on. Yeah.
Oh, hairspray.
No, it's a spray. They actually have called butt glue for pageants.
And it keeps your
Bikini.
underwear from
It keeps
going up your crack.
keeps you when you're during the swimsuit competition part of the pageants. It keeps it from going up your crack.
I don't know if you could spray that on dresses though. It might like mess it up. So fashion tape works perfectly.
You'd have like a wet spot.
Yeah.
You don't want a wet spot.
No.
Ooh.
You just
Well, and I also don't know if it'd be strong enough.
No, we need some hardcore fashion tape to
our
hold this
fashion
on.
tape, like it hurts to peel it off your skin. Like it peels my spray tan off.
Because her
afterwards.
dress has these like little tiny straps that are the only thing holding on her dress. And the way her dress is that she slips into the straps with her arms straight. So if she leaned forward, her entire dress would just come off this way.
If I like let my shoulders slouch, it literally just like
just come
falls.
off. It's not like a sleeve, like a typical sleeve where it comes from your back.
how are you gonna keep track of that all night?
I'm just gonna
She's
keep
using fashion tape.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my shoulders back, chest out.
Fashion tape stuck.
Fashion tape.
and what happens when you
it won't.
when you win and you have to go up there?
Well, we've been nominated for 3 years, and we've
never
haven't won yet.
So
chances are, who's to say?
Who are you up
we're
against
not
in this
going to.
category?
Michelle Thon,
Bethany Moda,
Graveyard Girl, Miss Glamorazzi,
Glamorazzi.
Zoella. Yeah.
Okay.
So good competition.
Amazing competition. We've never been up against other beauty gurus before. We've always
only ever been
like random web stars.
And they put
Rebecca Black beat us the first year.
Yes.
Really? But they put you two together.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've always been nominated together as a duo, which is great because
then one of us can't win.
Well, neither of us we've never won. So even together.
Yeah, but maybe if we weren't together, one of us would have won.
Oh.
I didn't say me. I said one of us.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll let you guys work on that later when you're figuring out the coffee bar.
So let's go back to Tennessee.
Okay.
And continue the thread of being individuals, but then also having lived life together. So how did it all start?
Well, we were born in Georgia.
Okay.
So was I.
Where are you? What part?
This is not
Macon.
about you.
No,
We're from Augusta.
We're from Augusta.
Okay. Yeah, Georgia.
Hell yeah.
Where are you at, brother? Huh?
Not Georgia.
I'm interested in their story.
Okay. Well, I got to tell them I was born in the same state.
Yeah, that's
you
so
can't
cool.
expect me to hold that kind of stuff back, man.
Yeah, no, that's so cool. We were born in Georgia. We lived there until I was in 5th grade. And then we moved to New Orleans for a year, and then we moved to Tennessee. So we weren't in Tennessee till I was in middle school.
And then we went over to Tennessee, and then Elle went to college. And when she came back, it was between her sophomore and junior year of
Sophomore and junior year
college.
of college, I started YouTube. I
Tell
was
them
so
why.
bored. I was so bored. So I was home from college, and I was bored out of my mind. I had been in college for 2 years. I was in a sorority. I was living my life, like thinking my life was just the best thing ever. And then I came back for the summer, and there was just nothing for me to do all summer. So I was like, I need a hobby. And so I decided to film myself putting on makeup. And now this was before that was a cool thing to do. I mean, this really wasn't really a thing.
It was summer of 2008, and there weren't,
Okay,
really
so
other people doing
2
it.
years into YouTube-ish, but no one was...
There were a few girls.
couple
We were not
girls.
the very first girls. But in terms of it being a community,
You didn't see them
it wasn't
doing
really yet.
Okay.
Yeah. The beauty community the way it is now wasn't a thing
wasn't
back then.
existent.
Yeah.
Why was that what you did? What made you say, I'm going to make this type of video?
Well, I've always been in love with beauty and fashion. Our mom is really girly. So mom taught us to wear makeup when we were really young. And she wasn't like a pageant mom. She just was very
They actually
girly
wouldn't
and
let me be in a pageant. I
She's like
begged
the
my
anti-pageant mom.
entire, from the, as young as I can remember until I was 16, I begged them to let me be in pageants. And they always said no. And now looking back, I'm fine with it. But at the time, I was very upset.
Hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, so they weren't pageant parents.
No.
But I wish they had been.
Yeah.
I wanted them to be.
But you were schooled in the ways of makeup from a very young age.
Yes. Like on special occasions, she would put a little blush on us.
I
and,
was
like,
wearing a full face of makeup to school every day by the time I was in 6th grade and curling my hair
Yeah,
for
I
school
wasn't.
every single morning. I was that girl.
Really?
I would have hair rollers like in my hair every morning when I was like 11.
Yeah.
I look back on that and I'm like, what kind of 11-year-old was I?
Well, I mean, and what's the answer?
The kind that turns into a beauty guru when she grows up.
Yeah, the kind that comes home from college and doesn't really have anything to do. And she's like, I'm going to film videos of myself putting on makeup.
Were you trying to be somebody, or were you just, was it, you were just really into it?
I definitely wasn't trying to be somebody. In fact, I didn't know at that point that you could be somebody. I mean, this was before I was even aware of the YouTube partner
Even
program.
amongst your
I had
friends. I mean, like,
no,
I-
no, none of our friends.
Our
even
friends
knew
didn't
about
know
it
for a year.
for a long time. Yeah,
Took us a year to tell them.
because
And
we thought
didn't
it was
tell
weird.
them.
Because
17
at the
Magazine
time
told them.
it was a bit weirder than it is now.
well, I actually,
Right.
I was asking the question as an 11-year-old. I was still back there asking, when you would put your hair in curlers and invest that amount of time in makeup and curlers, and you're asking yourself, what kind of 11-year-old was I? Do you have an answer now as to what your motives were then? Was it, I'm just really into this as a hobby, or was it you were after the results?
She wanted to look pretty for the boys at school.
Did you want to look pretty for the boys at
Actually,
school?
was it?
Yeah,
because
it was.
I
That's
think
why I
it
started
was.
wearing makeup. I mean, I didn't really start wearing makeup.
But I was also really into it.
Yeah.
I liked it, and I didn't resent the process. I mean, I liked getting up early in order to do it. But at the end of the day, it was because I had a crush.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Who was this?
Yeah, who was it?
His name was Josh. And if my friend Teddy is listening to this, she's going to die. You know what, though? Can I just say that
You can
my
say.
first crush of life, the crush I had in kindergarten, the first boy I ever liked in this world, I'm still friends with.
What's his name?
His name is Stone, and he's one of my
Of
best
course
friends
you liked
still.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of my best friends still.
But when you Facebook Josh,
You know,
It's nice.
all of my crushes,
It's nice.
except my college crushes, because by then by the time you're in college, you're pretty much an adult.
You're kind of who you're going to be.
Yeah, but like the
Wow.
crushes I had when I was really small, with the exception of Stone, he's still really cute. Hi, Stone. He's probably listening. But other than him, they're all weird. Every single one of them. Every single one of them.
So your judgment
Yeah.
was clouded.
No, I think it goes to show that you don't want to peak in middle or high school. No, seriously.
I know what you
No,
mean.
I'm being dead
Yeah,
serious. All the
yeah.
kids that were like so popular and you wanted nothing more than to be like their best friend and stuff. Like, have you looked
Slash
them
their
up?
girlfriend.
Yeah, have you looked them up on Facebook? Like, it goes to show it's okay not to be like the most popular kid in middle and high school, because you might be sitting in Los Angeles doing a podcast and be cool one day.
So Blair, you're saying you were not popular.
No, Blair was always like so pretty though. She doesn't even
I-
know what she's talking about. Except when she was 2. But then she was really cute. She had a little bowl cut and
I
she had
did.
no teeth.
For some reason, my mother thought it was a good idea to give me a bowl cut, like one
You
where
had the cutest
they
bowl
put
cut.
the bowl on your head and shave up to the bowl, like a
It was
legit
so
boy
cute.
bowl cut.
Maybe she got
Interesting.
confused.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It's a possibility. I think the little boy in front of me got it done, and my mom was like, "Oh, it's so cute. They put a bowl on your head," and I was like, "I want a bowl on my head," and that's probably how it happened.
So back to junior year in college, or before junior year.
Yeah.
You come back home. You still have a love for putting on the
Mhm.
makeup, and so that was your first instinct to the type of YouTube video you were going to make.
Well, and she also, we live in such a small town. There wasn't a Sephora or anything like that. We had drugstore makeup. That's it. But if you wanted to invest in higher end makeup, like
You had to order it online.
Chanel or something like that, you had to order it online. But when you would go read the reviews, you never really knew who was reviewing it. It could have been a salesperson for the company, and it was
I
kind of,
wasn't thinking that deep. I probably
was.
didn't know enough about the process to think it was a salesperson. I just didn't think there was a really good way to order products online.
But your first video,
was a tutorial. It was so bad.
it's not up anymore.
It's a yellow
Oh.
eyeshadow tutorial. Who wears yellow on their eyes, honestly?
I mean, you've done a couple yellow
You know
eyeshadow
what?
tutorials.
You know what? Bringing it full circle, I use the color rice paper. I'm not
Really?
even kidding.
And that's,
Okay.
yep.
That's the color that I used in that tutorial.
Really?
Yep. And I didn't talk. It was a silent video.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well,
and there
those-
was like
those
no
are great.
music or anything. It
Nope.
was literally
This was back
No
when
sound
YouTube
at all.
videos were bad, though. I mean, the quality of
well,
videos back
there
then.
wasn't sound, but the sound was not. The audio wasn't taken down to zero. It was just
like
just what was recorded.
silence
like,
of,
the
like,
Okay, you didn't
you
just like
didn't-
it's very slight brushing.
Yeah,
sounds
just
and
like
stuff like
me,
that.
like living my
like
life.
breathing.
Yeah.
maybe a cough here or there.
No,
it's like you didn't know the webcam was running.
exactly.
And I wasn't looking at the webcam. webcam. I
it
don't
was
look
from
at
the
it at all.
side.
It's almost like someone put a hidden
Voyeuristic.
camera in. Except it was me. I put a hidden
And then she
camera in.
uploaded it to the
And
internet.
then I put it up. And I got 10 subscribers overnight. And I'm like, people are weird. Like,
And how long until you made your first YouTube video,
Well, she didn't
Blair?
tell me about it for maybe like a week that she had put up a video. And then I remember she came into my room at like 3 a.m. She was like, I need to make you a username. And I was like, what? And she was like, I'm going to make you a YouTube account. And I was like, okay.
This was after your video posted. You got 10
Yep.
subscribers. You're like, you're getting in on this.
I was like, it's the most fun thing ever. I'm going to film you putting on makeup. And she goes, excuse me? No.
I was
You
like,
can post videos of you doing things in your bedroom by yourself on the internet, but I'm not going to.
so she made my username JuicyStar07. I have her to thank for that, which now looking back on
I thought
it,
it sounded good.
No, what was the thought process behind that?
she
She
asked
loved
me,
Juicy
she was
Couture.
like, well, what do you want? And like for your username. And she was sitting on the end of my bed and right like behind her was my coat rack with my Juicy Couture purse. And I was like, I like Juicy Couture. And she was like, okay, Juicy Star. And Juicy Star was taken. So we added Juicy
But
Star.
not 07.
Yeah.
So you go back to college and
Well, yeah, and I didn't have a computer anyway to film videos. So for the first year or for the first 6 months, I would only film like Elle came back for fall break and then Thanksgiving break. And so I filmed a couple videos and then she edited and uploaded them for me, like spaced them out a little bit so that it looked like I could have
I'm a
been
good
doing
big
it.
sister. I'm responsible for her channel.
Yeah.
Now, but what are your parents thinking at this point?
My mom knew about it from the first night. Blair didn't, but my mom did. Like, she was in on it. She watched the little yellow eyeshadow look the night I put it up. She thought it was weird, but she was supportive. Our parents have been supportive since the very, very beginning. Like,
Yeah.
weirdly supportive. Like, it's a weird thing your kids are doing, especially back then because it wasn't a thing.
Right, there was no
It's
reference
a thing
point.
now.
Yeah.
Exactly. It wasn't back then. It was
how did it
just
start to
weird.
catch on? Was
didn't
it
tell-
was slow growth or something?
It was slow, but it wasn't that slow.
Like looking back on it, it wasn't that slow. Yeah. Well, I was working at a fast food restaurant this whole time. So because
She was on Wieners.
I was the star of the Wiener Grill.
What restaurant?
Saying. It's called Pals.
Pals.
It's like basically like the In-N-Out burger of
But they
like,
make hot
Tennessee,
dogs. But they
and
call
we
it
have hot
Wieners.
dogs. But they're when you order it, when you're like on loudspeaker, you have to call out like Wiener.
And like she
Really?
was the Wiener girl.
What does that do for your reputation in a small town to be the wiener girl?
You know,
Something she liked.
no, I mean really, online were my only like friends. That sounds so sad to say, but like seriously,
Yeah,
like I didn't
poor
really have
Blair.
anyone in town that I was like
Blair.
talking to except the people that worked at Pals with me, and they were awesome. They were like, yeah. So I was working at the fast food restaurant and I saved up money over the course of the summer and up until Christmas for half of like the price of a MacBook. So then for Christmas, my parents paid the additional money. And so I got my own computer and was able to start making my own videos, which was really exciting. And for some reason, I was like,
You got
just
really addicted. You
really
put up a video
addicted.
every single day for like 90 days, which was like unheard of at this point. No
and they
one
were
was doing
all
daily videos.
like, I look back at it and
90 days?
they were all really
They
good
were good
videos. Like they
videos.
were all like how to give yourself a French manicure. And I look back and I can't do it
it's
to myself
still like
anymore.
the best how to do a French manicure video that exists, like that I've ever seen.
Yeah. And I was waking up.
But it
well,
wasn't immediate traction with those. It was just, I mean, it wasn't like the views were going through the roof, or were they?
that's when they started to
That's
get
when
like
Juicy
exciting.
Star became Juicy Star. Was that
Okay.
during that 90-day time period? That was
Okay.
when she had her rainbow room. And a lot of times when people think of Juicy Star 07, they think of like her in that time period.
Yeah.
And
Not
what were
to say
you thinking?
peaked too young or anything like that.
And Elle, what were
I mean, I
you
peaked a
thinking
little
when this
young,
when
but
this
I'm
started
glad.
taking off? Were you like, well, hold on now a second? I mean, I got you started, but
Well, I was still like, because I had been doing it for 6 months before her. So even when this was happening, I was still way above her. She ended up passing me later on. But at this point, it was still like, she was now also, we didn't mention, we hadn't told anyone we were sisters at this
Oh,
point.
yeah. We
YouTube didn't know that we were related.
Looking back on it, I don't remember
It's-
why we did that. Part of me thinks maybe we were trying to be like safe on the internet.
We were. That's
Is that
what,
what
it
it
was.
was?
It wasn't any reason other than just. Also, we didn't think it was going to be a big thing.
So we didn't tell people. And then there was a conspiracy that came out and it was like, Elle and Blair Fowler
same
are the
person.
new. They're the new lonely girl. They're the same.
They're the
person.
same person. That's what it was. This was right around the time of the Lonely Girl thing.
Did you
Yeah.
address it?
Yeah, and we were like, we're
not
not
lonely,
the same.
girl.
person. They're like, people would be watching my videos and be like, last time I saw you, you had blonde hair. And I was like, well, that wasn't me. That wasn't my channel. That wasn't my video. Like,
But you didn't say that was my sister.
Not yet.
No, not yet. But then people started, they found out. I mean, we lived in the same house, like, with the same animals.
But you know
with
what's
the same
funny?
little sister.
The same animals is funny, but we never showed anything outside of our own individual bedrooms. So you wouldn't have known it was the same house necessarily. Yeah. And really, I only showed the cats and you only showed the dogs. I mean, we could have kept it secret, except for the fact that we have the exact same voice and we sometimes look like we're wearing a wig in each other's color.
Well, this is an interesting thing because having just started to express yourself on YouTube and then finding that you have an audience and finding that you're becoming really, really popular and that you're starting to become scrutinized, and this is a good example of it. I think it goes even further in terms of criticism, which we want to talk about, but figuring out what's the line of privacy. Like even a quick Wikipedia search, you can kind of see, okay, people talk about what are their real names. Yeah, I mean, you tell the story, but there's question about, well, those aren't their real names. Their legal names are different. And at some point you have to make a decision. Are we going to address this?
When we first started, I wanted to be incredibly private.
I've always been a super private person.
I'm a private person, but I never did this seeking celebrity in any sense of the word. I wanted to keep my online persona completely separate from my real life persona. And when I started, I didn't know that was unrealistic. I mean, I didn't know what path my channel was going to take. Blair wasn't like that at all. If she hadn't been my sister, I probably would have been able to keep a lot more things private. A lot of the things that came out about us happened because this one here did interviews where she was like, we're from Kingsport, Tennessee, and our moms are Scott Melissa Fowler, and like all this stuff that like I would have never put out there. If people don't know how to track you, they can't track you. Well, this one here made it real easy to track us. I mean, you could find our address because of this one here doing interviews.
You can still
So Elle and Blair, the names.
So Elle was my nickname anyway. That was the name I was going by in college. It was short for Elle for Lisa. And I've talked about how Lisa is my legal name in a video a very long time ago. I don't bring it up a lot anymore because at this point, it's controversy that's followed us for 6 years. But that's how it started. And I thought, you know what? I'm doing this channel. I'm not putting my last name out there. I'm just going to go by my nickname. Like, why go by Lisa when I'm going by Elle anyway? And when, for privacy reasons, it makes more sense regardless. So I went by Elle. And I'm glad I did because that's what I go by.
Since she had gone by a nickname, I was like, well, I'm going to go by a different name. And Blair was not my nickname before this, just throwing it out there. But I never had gone by my first name, Laura. I had always gone by my middle name, Elizabeth. So I've always just had a very odd name.
She has, because when she decided to go by Elizabeth, which she was a couple years old when this happened.
Yeah, and I told him I would only respond to Elizabeth.
I still called her Laura for a really long time, but I was the only person that did it. And so she always had a weird...
So you let her through with Laura.
Only her. But I think I don't think we actually talked enough for me to care.
We weren't close growing up.
Yeah.
Which, we were 5 years apart. We were never in the same school at the same time. We didn't have any friends that overlapped. And honestly, our personalities weren't ones that made us get along easily. The funny thing is, though, she slept in the same bed as me.
Yeah.
Her entire her entire life.
Like you slept together?
Yeah. Yeah, like she had her own bedroom, but she would come and get in bed with me every single night until I went to college.
We wouldn't.
But when you were awake, you were not.
You wouldn't acknowledge it.
But isn't that weird? Like,
a little bit.
Mom brings that up now, and she's like, "That's how I always knew that you guys had potential to be friends one day. Is you guys
slept in the same bed.
Loved each other as sisters."
Oh, I was just scared of the dark.
But the fact that I let you sleep with me every night when I was in high school.
So was the first relationship initiative when you said, "I'm making a YouTube account for you, and I did this. Now you need to do it." Is that when you guys started to be friends?
Yep.
Yeah, YouTube, but it wasn't until, so we started being friends. Like, she filmed, my first couple videos and edited them for me and stuff like that.
But we still didn't get along at all.
But we still, even, I wish we had kept the raw footage of those videos because it probably would have been me, rolling my eyes at you. And, we still weren't really friends, but then.
Well, and we put up a sister video together. And you can tell if you watch it now, we can tell looking back on it, how not close we were.
We weren't even friends.
We didn't even have fun filming that video.
No, that video was hard to film.
But back to the name thing, whenever you were going by Elle, then you were like, well, I'm going to go by Blair.
Yeah, well, and she was older when, she had lived off for 2 years from our parents. I had just turned 15. So when I was starting it, my parents were like, you are still very young.
Yeah, our parents told her she needed to go by.
They were like, just go by a nickname or a screen name. Just go by Juicy Star then. And I was like, guys, I'm going to go by Blair because I'm cool.
What was the transition personally? Because, online, as that started to grow, you were only known as Blair.
Right.
But
I feel
personally,
like I called you Blair from the day you started your YouTube. Like,
You
I
did.
switched from, like, Laura to Blair.
Yeah. And she had never called me.
and skipped Elizabeth entirely.
I never felt comfortable calling her Elizabeth, but I was the only person. She went by Elizabeth with everyone else in her life at this point.
But everyone now calls you Blair.
Yeah.
Personally,
Everyone.
like your parents.
Everyone.
And it's funny because I actually took a guy home like maybe a year ago, and he ended up like after he had like met my parents and stuff, we were just like sitting watching a movie or something, and he was like, I have to say, I didn't believe you when you told me that your parents called you Blair. And I was like,
It kind of made her mad.
I was like, why would I lie about that? Like, I would have told, you're my boyfriend. I would have told you if like,
Yeah, 'cause
I'll tell you this. I think for some people, they can look at our name story and think it's weird as heck and be like, I don't understand. There's no way they go by those names in real life. They're not their names. But the thing is, they are, first of all. And second of all, our family, like I said, have always been weird with names.
Mm-hmm.
We're a huge nickname family. Like, our youngest sister, I've only called her Jelly Bean since
her
before
whole
she
life.
was born.
Well, the interesting thing for me is the challenge of having to deal with this
it was hard at
perceived
first.
controversy.
It was hard at first because people
It
were
was the
saying that we
first
were
controversy.
lying to
Yeah.
our viewers, that
And it
we were
kind of
trying to be
upset
someone
us.
we weren't. And that's not what it was.
Yeah.
So that's why it made us upset at first. But
Did you, in retrospect, did you handle it correctly?
No, I didn't address it for like 4 years just because I was like,
I did.
maybe I did. I don't remember.
I addressed it that first summer. The summer after we started, summer 2009, I was interning for 17 magazine in New York City. And that's the summer that hate started. Like, we didn't have it before then. Because I remember I was living in New York when this hate bubble started. And when it started, it just like exploded.
Characterize that hate bubble. What do you mean?
Up until that point, we had a really amazing
we
community
might have
of
had
people.
one comment that was like, "You're ugly, get off the internet," and that was like it for like a year and a half.
I don't think I got a single comment like that for the first year
think
I was
got
doing
one
videos.
that, yeah.
Like, I didn't get any. Like, every comment was so nice, and we had never been exposed to hate. And it was that summer I was living in New York, and I remember starting to get the little trickles of mean comments. And once they started, they just exploded.
It exploded.
Like, it turned into this thing where, like, everyone who ever wanted to say something mean to me saw someone else do it and said, I'm going to say something mean too. And
How did you deal with that,
it
each
was
of you?
awful. It was awful. Like, I almost quit that summer.
How bad did it get? What did you do? I mean, you
Cried
cried.
a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've
Cried a lot.
lot.
And really considered quitting.
Well, and you have to remember, especially when
it wasn't a career at this point. We weren't really making money off of it. I mean, there was no reason to stay other than that we loved it.
that it was fun to
That's
do.
the only reason
and
we
the
stuck
people
with
that
it.
like, and I remember I would say, like, I would go to school and I was being bullied at school because of it, because I hadn't told anyone about it. And then 17 magazine did an article on us that came out like 2 months before summer for my sophomore year of high school. And I hadn't told anyone because in my mind, I thought that they were going to think I was like trying to brag about it or something, like, oh, like, I'm doing this. And
Well, and also,
But they found out anyway.
you
Well,
kind of don't
and
want to talk
then-
about it until
yeah.
it happens, too, because it's like, well, what if it doesn't happen?
yeah.
And then,
I was like, what if I'm that girl that's like, I'm going to be in a magazine, and then it doesn't happen. And I was like, I don't want to brag about it anyways. But they ended up finding out. And I remember the day I walked into school and like this huge group of girls came up to me and they were like, we're going to like beat your ass in the lunchroom. And I was like, why? Like,
that's so
I
scary.
was like, okay, like, I'll see you there. Like, what's going on? Anyways,
Did they?
They tried, yeah, but I put my hands up like this, and then I ran away. And then I didn't go back to the lunchroom the entire rest of the 2 months. I ended up sitting in my French teacher's classroom. So I just ate alone in the classroom for the rest of the 2 months. And then I was allowed to come in 5 minutes late and leave 5 minutes early to go get in my car, because then they would start waiting at my car.
Is that what eventually led to you dropping out of high school?
Well, I
Was that
didn't-
related?
Yeah, well, I didn't drop out of high school. I became homeschooled.
Okay.
So, yeah, my parents would have never let me drop out of high
Yeah, no.
school. And I wouldn't have wanted to, just for personal reasons. But I became homeschooled because of that, Yes, but also
for junior and senior year.
Junior and senior year of high school, yeah.
But she finished in 1 year.
Yeah.
What component of it was, I'm going to make this a career? Was that even on the table yet? Or
Not
was
yet,
it just, I
no.
cannot be in school?
No, it was just the amount of like anxiety and fear that I had. And it's funny because actually she wasn't living there at the time. She wasn't experiencing this with me. My mom was. But then we ended up going out to a dinner like 2 years later we have an online shop called Glitzy Glam. And we have like 10 employees for it. And we ended up taking everyone out for dinner like 2 years later. And our server ended up like being one of the bullies. And we left because I just being in her presence was just scary to me. Like, and I'm not a physical person. Like, I remember when I came home and I was like, yeah, tomorrow if they come back up to me, I'm going to like go like this. And my dad was like, well, if you do that, you're going to break your thumb. So I suggest you like don't try to hit anyone.
First of all, everybody on the internet is a target of criticism.
Yeah.
But do you think there's something especially about being a beauty vlogger?
Yes, and that's what they said.
And what is it specifically that you think brings that extra criticism?
They were saying, who do you think you are? Trying to teach us how we should be doing like our hair and makeup. Do you think you're that pretty? Do you think you're that cool? Like all that stuff. And I was like, no, I just like it. Like, you know, but I do think that putting yourself in that marketplace and stuff, I think that's definitely why you can get more hate for it.
Completely. I believe that. And for some reason, I think Blair and I are still like some of the biggest hate targets in the beauty community. And the only reason I can really think why is because we were one of the first ones and we have been easy to hate on for years.
We've been easy to hate
We're
on.
an easy target.
Yeah. I mean, I would probably hate you if you weren't my sister.
Thanks, Blair.
And it wasn't my life.
I mean, do you think there's a difference in the way you come across that invites it more? If you feel like you're getting more hate, is that true? I mean, if you talk to Michelle or if you talk to the other names that you mentioned, are you able to gauge?
I wouldn't know what we could do differently because we don't do anything.
You know, everyone says that they get it and stuff like that, like when we talk to them about it. But I think that just personally looking, I just feel like
we're bigger targets.
I get it more. Maybe there's two of us. Maybe it's I don't know.
I think Blair gets it more than me, but I think we get it more than anyone else really in the community.
Well, how do you deal with it, and is it worth it?
It's
worth it, which is why we're still doing it 6 years later. I just had my 6th YouTube birthday. Woo!
Me too.
Yeah, she did too.
I've noticed with prank channels, they seem to be getting laughs at people's expense. You'll see that they start to do the type of pranks that say, see, I'm not that bad of a person. See how I help this person? Do you feel like that there's some sort of PR thing that you could do to say, just kind of put yourself out there more?
No.
If you cried in a vlog and people knew how it hurt you, would they lay off?
Because we've kind of done that before.
We've mentioned that it's hard before, and they're like, well, then why are you still doing it?
Yeah,
get off
if
you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen.
Hate it.
Is it worth it?
Yes, absolutely. Without a doubt. Our lives would be so different, and
But that aside, I think the question really comes down to that first summer, 2009, when we first started getting hate. We weren't being paid yet. Right. So we didn't have it's my career and this is my livelihood and all that argument backing it up. It was purely a question of, do we like this enough to deal with all of this hate? Mm-hmm. And we did. We stuck with it.
What has been the net effect of dealing with that type of criticism? It's just now you've got a perspective that this is just part of the deal. If we're going to do this, this is part of it. And you seem to be in a good place with how you deal with that. But it obviously has affected you in some way. Like, how do you think you're different because of the criticism that you've received over the years?
We've grown a really thick skin.
We've grown a thick skin, and I think we are really good at pepping each other up if we see the other one needs it. Like, we might joke about how, we don't live together anymore and, stuff like that.
We joke about how we were bad roommates, but living together is what bonded us so much.
It is, yeah. And then we can be joking, and if she's like, I just don't feel like filming today, stuff like that. And, there are times where I'm like, then don't. Just go get in the bubble bath and
watch a movie. Go get a tattoo with me. Let's get drunk.
But I can also tell when there are times that we do need to push each other. And she's a really good pep talk giver. She'll come over. She'll be like, you're still pretty.
I could be an inspirational speaker.
One of the things that we've noticed is that the vast majority of YouTube comments can be just frustrating. But then every once in a while, there's something that you read and you're like, I don't like that. But you know what? there's some truth in that?
Mainly ones that, obviously the ones that are like, you should go kill yourself and you're so ugly, all those sort of things. Like, I'm not obviously going to listen to those, but I get a lot of constructive criticism. Like, you shouldn't pump your mascara wand like that before you put your mascara on. It puts bacteria like back into the tube. Like, things like that. A lot of people are like, then we'll jump on them and be like, that's so mean. Why would you say that? But then I look at it and I'm like, thank you for telling me that. So like constructive criticism, I definitely take away like a lot of good things from, but it's just the straight out mean comments. But I've also said a lot of times, I don't actually think that we should call them haters. There are haters out there, but for the most part, I feel like a lot of mean comments on YouTube are just people with different opinions that have a rude way of saying it.
Or they're just having really bad days.
Yeah.
Or they're just unhappy people.
Sprinkle of Glitter was talking to us recently, and she made a really good point. She was saying, you know, when you're having a great day and you are just like so happy and everything's going so well in your life, you don't find the need to be hateful. But if you're just having a really crappy day,
or if you're just a very unhappy person
and you're sitting there and you're watching and you're like, that's wrong and that's wrong and that person like is doing this wrong and stuff, like you want to expel it.
Tear someone down to build yourself up.
Exactly. And it is
as
true.
a result.
So it's almost sad when you read those comments because you have to think, you
like,
don't
what
know
are they
what's
going through?
Yeah, you don't
like,
know
you
what
never
they're
know
going through.
someone's family life and stuff.
You know what? 6 years ago when we got a mean comment, it was the end of the world.
It made
and
us
now
cry.
we can read 30 of the meanest comments in a row. And
I know. It's
like
kind of sad.
It's kind of sad that our skin has gotten so tough with it because it's almost like it means we've been exposed to so much hate that we're like numb to it now, which is actually kind of sad, but it works in our favor because we have to deal with it all the time.
By virtue of the type of content you create, I mean, a lot of it is focused on how you present yourself to other people. So it's by definition external in a lot of ways. How do you think your content contributes to how girls think about their self-image?
Well, we're very open with our viewers. I mean, we talk about, we have bad days and, you know, we're definitely trying to show confidence on the inside and the outside, that we aren't doing these like makeup videos to show you how you can be prettier or something like that. We want to show you how you can enhance your natural
prettier.
feel
better.
Enhance your natural features and feel better. Like walk with a little more pep in your step. And if that doesn't give you an extra pep in your step, then you don't need to spend an extra 30 minutes.
Then why wake up an hour and a half early? Because I certainly wouldn't.
Yeah.
I feel better when I'm wearing makeup.
But like it genuinely makes me like
have a better day. It does.
Yeah. And that might be frivolous
we want to like
and
teach
like
people how to do
stupid
that.
Say, but like,
well, I think it's a personality thing. Not every girl that exists out there is going to watch our videos and feel like if I spent an hour doing that every day, I feel like my life would be happier. But it really does make every aspect of my day.
I like love
happier.
Getting up in the morning and making a cup of coffee and like doing my hair and makeup. It's
well,
my
the hair and
hour
makeup
of
is
like
fun, first of all. But then you feel confident all day.
Yeah.
Even if you don't look that good that day. I mean, sometimes we do our makeup and we still don't look that good, but it's not about how you look as much as like you feel like, okay.
And it's like a routine.
I put my hour in and now I look the best I can. I'm like Superman with my little costume on.
I would imagine that you get criticism on what you're focusing so much on the external. What about the inside?
Yeah, but
I don't really get that.
I don't really get that either. And you know, we could do videos where we talk about like the charities that we donate to and stuff like that. We don't, because that is something that we feel like if you were to do that, like it's just kind of showing like, oh, look how good of a person I am.
I actually don't really get criticism for that.
And I don't really get that.
Having established yourself with the type of content that you do you ever feel like trapped by the genre? Do you want to try other things?
Yeah, but no, because we kind of
can
can do anything. Yeah. Because we do what we want to do. Like if we want a daily vlog, we daily vlog. If we want to do a book review, we do that. If we want to do a video that's 30 seconds long on my cat running around, I put that on the internet. And
how do people respond to that?
They love it.
Yeah.
Because from the very beginning, we've done that, though. We've never put ourselves just in a makeup box.
Hold ourselves into one type of video.
We've always been a little bit more like just anything in Elle and Blair's world that we want to put on there, we do.
So you do have the freedom to create different types of content or different types of videos that you can connect with your audience in different ways. Elle, you said earlier, I could be a motivational speaker. You know, when you were talking about how when Blair needs that pep talk and you're there for each other to deal with that. Has anyone prescribed to you, you know what, you should also make videos that address the internal?
I've been requested to do advice videos before. And the reason that I haven't done them is because I just feel like, who am I to really give them advice on the inside? I don't know. It's kind of one of those, like, who am I to give them advice on the outside either? I don't know. But if they want to learn from me how I put on my makeup, like, I'll teach them that. I just feel like giving advice on how someone should live their life, I almost feel like I don't have the authority to do that unless I knew them in real life and I knew their situation. But that's why I've never done it. I just feel like, who am I to sit there and be giving advice?
We've
videos?
also been really careful from the very beginning. We've always said, we've never had any sort of professional training on this or anything. Like, this is how we do it. This isn't maybe how you're supposed to do it. We might do it really wrong.
Yeah. And we're not the best. We've never been the best. We've never claimed to be the best.
We
In
never
fact,
will be the best.
No.
On the internet, there's this value of being transparent, and the more you can connect with your audience, the more people eat that type of stuff up. There's certainly people of all ages who are just gushing about whatever their opinions are and their perspectives. But there may be people who are thinking, when you give advice about the external, there is an opportunity to be honest about what's going on the inside too. If your self-image is not tied up totally in how effective your makeup makes you happy, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But I guess I'm asking the question, is there more to the picture of what makes up your personal self-image that there might be potential for you to share that with your audience just as food for thought? Not, okay, here's my advice of how you should view yourself.
I mean, we try to put a little bit of that in our videos, but I think as of now, we're not doing like full videos focused on that. We could, but we just haven't yet.
I guess it would require a number of things, not the least of which is a vulnerability that is your right to not have to go there.
Yeah.
I guess I was curious if you ever got that feedback. People said, well, you've got these girls watching you and they're eating up all of your advice related to makeup. Anything you say, they're gonna take it to heart. So give me that motivational speech about what matters is what's on the inside.
I've talked to them before kind of loosely about like the bullying thing, and I gave a little bit of advice on that, and I did get a good feedback of people saying like, I didn't even realize I was a bully, that like what I was saying could be hurting someone in that way and stuff. So I think we do little things like that, but I mean, we haven't done like full videos on advice.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a good point with the privacy thing. For me is I've never talked about relationships. I've never really brought friendships into my YouTube channel. And I would have never brought my family into it, was it not for this one doing it first. It's hard because it's like, if I was just beauty and fashion, then I could say, well, I've always just said I'm only going to do beauty and fashion, but that's not true because I kind of do anything I want. If I want to put up a video of my cat, it's hard. I don't really know where the line is, even for myself.
I've always just kind of been a little bit of an open book.
Yeah.
Except lately, I haven't been putting relationships online because after I did that the first time,
let's talk about that. Relationships.
Yes, with Sawyer, that's what you're referring to.
Yeah.
So, in retrospect, what would you have done differently?
Well,
what
Sawyer
happened?
Wasn't a YouTuber when they first started dating, first of all.
I mean, I didn't even tell him I was a YouTuber. I told him I worked in beauty marketing because
that's kind of our go-to if someone's not in the YouTube space.
So you started dating him, and then you got Sawyer Harmon into YouTube?
Yes.
Oh yeah, he hadn't done it for like the first 6 months of us dating or something.
So you're still friends?
Yeah.
Oh.
Or
okay.
I mean, yeah, we just did a collab video together where he spit a lot of water in my face.
How was that?
I was sick for a week afterwards. So
gross.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it wasn't
from him.
I mean, I don't know if it was from him, but I was sick for a week after.
Yeah, draw your own conclusion. Mine was gross.
Yeah, so
he was carrying something. That's what I thought.
Elle told me, be careful putting like a relationship like that online.
I'll tell you this. I've never openly talked about any relationship I've been in the 6 years I've been on YouTube. In fact, a lot of my viewers are convinced I've never had a boyfriend.
Or a lesbian.
Which is very...
Yeah,
which is very untrue.
Just a little bit of searching, I find that, okay, they say you've got a boyfriend.
I do have a boyfriend.
And you're in his videos. And
I mean, she tries to be very private about her.
Okay, that's a weird exception because he's also public. But I will say that we kept things very hush-hush for a very, very long time. I don't know. Anyway, but I'm talking about back when she was with Sawyer. At this point, I had 3 boyfriends in that time period, none of which I had breathed a word about on YouTube. So when she started dating Sawyer, he wasn't a YouTuber. He wasn't in the world.
Well, I did not tell YouTuber Twitter about him. He did. So I'll just throw that out
I don't
there.
remember that. All I remember is giving her advice to keep it off the internet because that's how I had done it, and that was just my big sister advice.
And it was really
and
my
now
first
you're
like,
trying
real
to take that advice
relationship.
now, but it's difficult.
Okay, but the music video thing was done as
that was just a friend thing.
It's complicated.
And that turned
We've been
into a
friends
relationship
for a very long time.
You make a music video with somebody, and next thing you know, it's more serious.
We have a really
Right?
long history, me and him. We've been friends for a very, very long time. I was in his music video as a friend.
As a maid.
I was a maid.
As a maid that makes out with them.
I was his friend in that music video.
I thought it was a documentary. I'm sorry.
Now it's interesting because we have talked to many people at this table about this issue, right? This whole relationships and YouTube. And there's this weird thing because as YouTubers, we're all more open with our personal lives than a typical celebrity would be, right?
Right.
But at the same time, you usually know more about celebrity relationships than you do with YouTubers because they tend to be more restrictive about that particular part of their lives. Do you feel like there is, I mean, just like Link said, I mean, a little bit of searching and you can find out what everybody is saying about your current relationship.
Yeah, and that's the first time that you've ever been able to really do that with Elle, with the exception of like one person.
Because I have always dated people completely out of the public eye. So it's very easy to keep it completely secretive when the other person isn't a YouTuber or a celebrity.
Yes,
they're just normal people. Every single boyfriend I've had in the past, you can't find any pictures because I have a personal Facebook that's private.
Are you concerned about that relationship now that it's public?
I mean, it's public, but it's still very private. Like, they don't really know.
I've never confirmed it.
Yeah.
I think you just confirmed it. I'm sorry. Okay, you haven't confirmed it.
Yeah, I've never
That's
confirmed
fair.
it.
That's fair. We'll go with that.
Well, and then I think, like, with Sawyer, he kind of claimed himself. I remember when he tweeted something that was like, yes, for those asking, I am dating at JuicyStar007. And I remember thinking, you have like 7 followers and not a single one asked you that. So I don't know how.
I looked at all of their Twitter pages. No one asked you that.
I'm pretty sure no one had any idea. But then he did decide to start a YouTube channel and he's done very well with it. I will say he has worked very hard to get it where it is.
Yeah.
But since then, because I've had that public relationship since trying to date then, and I'm single right now, painfully. And so if you guys like know anyone, like I'm single and ready to mingle, you know.
We get it, Blair.
Noted.
Fertile. I'm very fertile.
Uh-oh.
I think. I mean, I don't know. But
You might get a few tweets for that.
Oh. I have childbearing hips. I mean, I'm just saying, like I would.
You want to start a family.
I do, yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah, I do.
Yesterday.
But anyways, trying to date
You really
since
do?
then. Yeah.
Yeah, she like
It's
can't
really
think
weird.
straight right now.
It's like really odd that I honestly believe I was put on this earth to be a mother. And
You
like
want
a
to get
wife.
pregnant?
Oh yeah, she does.
I mean, yeah, I want to be
yeah.
married first. But
She's
like,
wanted to be pregnant for
like when
years.
when my mom got pregnant, I was only 9 years old, and I remember being
Wow.
really jealous.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I knew where babies came from, but like I was really upset that she was pregnant and I
like
wasn't.
the store hadn't brought her a baby.
Right.
You're still getting a lot of tweets at this point, but they're from a different demo.
Yeah.
Okay, all I'm saying is
You
that
might have some volunteers.
If you guys
That's all I
know
was saying.
anyone single that is actually a good person, we'll talk after.
Good father?
Anyways,
Yeah,
well,
like would be a good father.
I mean,
or like cute.
That's like my
cute
number.
genes.
That's like my number one thing. Like when I go on a first date, I scare so many guys away because I
She
ask them,
does.
I'm like, "Do you want kids?" When
And then
do you
she
want
says,
them?
"When
And
do you
they're
want
like, "You
kids?"
realize you're 21?" And I'm like,
Let's say you went on a blind date with someone tomorrow night.
Okay.
Give me a
She
time.
has
Give
the
me a.
timeline.
"Yeah, I still have
because
the
I
timeline."
can't-
She
I
has
can't
it on
figure
a
out if you're being
chalkboard
serious
in her
yet.
bedroom.
It's not on. A
Give me the
chalkboard.
It's on a
for
white
reals
board in her bedroom.
timeline. First
I
date
would-
tomorrow night with Jake.
First
Let's
date
call
with
him Jake.
Okay. It would probably be a little while until we became boyfriend girlfriend. Like probably like 2 months is right.
Less for you. Are you kidding?
So say like 2 months. This is going to be really creepy. Then I want to date for about 2 years before we get engaged.
So say it's August 1st. So 2 months will be. It's not August 1st. But let's say it is.
Okay.
October.
Okay. October 1st.
October 1st. So then we could get engaged like fall of 2016. And then I need a year to be engaged, but I could take it down a couple months if I wanted to get married and stuff.
And then 9 months after that.
No, I don't.
Baby.
I don't want a honeymoon baby. I would want to be married for at least a year before I get pregnant and just like travel with my husband and stuff. So realistically,
you're gonna be like 30.
Yeah, no, realistically, I'm not going to be having my first baby until like 26 if I met someone tomorrow night. So that's why I'm saying like I really need to get on this because it's already been since I was like 9 years old.
You should just go on Married at First Sight.
So, Elle, how do you feel?
Yeah.
How do you relate to this? What's your baby making plan?
I definitely want kids. I want like 3 or 4, but I don't have a timeline like she does.
Okay.
You're going to just let it happen.
Yeah, I've never been that kind of person. She's always been that kind of person. That's
I've always been that kind of
it'll
person.
happen. Like, I've had my life planned since I was like 9.
Yeah. I just
and
think
this
it will
was
happen.
not in the cards, guys. Like, I should be married by now, actually.
Well, listen, we wish you the best in that and in general.
Your quest.
It's been really cool getting to know you and being let behind the curtain of beauty vlogging guru.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Is it weird having us on here?
No, it's great. We had the double-sided tape pulled back, and well,
did you?
No.
Double-sided tape doesn't pull back.
Now you need to sign the table. Thanks for coming in.
Awesome.
Thank you.
There it was, our conversation with the Fowler sisters, Elle and Blair.
I gotta say, I'm not feeling too good about this makeup situation. I'm talking about our personal makeup situation.
Oh, you're still back there.
Yeah, the whole time we talked to them after they mentioned the bacteria-laden pad that we've been applying to each other's faces. Not just to our faces, but we've been sharing
Well,
it.
I've been applying it to my own face. We don't like reach across and like apply it to each other's face. I'm not your makeup artist and vice versa.
But I think it's important to note that we've been doing that for years. Not with the same makeup. I mean, this particular pad that we've been sharing for is probably a 3 or 4 month pad.
Could have been a year, man.
But maybe, I don't know. But I'm saying even back in the early days of high digital 8 cameras when we knew that we weren't supposed to be shiny and we went to Car Drug or Rite Aid and got some makeup. Mm-hmm. We've been sharing some makeup, brother.
Yeah, we might need to rethink that. And I remember going there to have to buy like a replacement. It's like, well, what shade do you get? Well, I got the tan summer shade, and then I got the winter paler shade.
Yeah, right.
But I still cannot make sense.
And what do you do?
Because you're in the women's section.
You put your face up next to it and guess if you match.
Yeah,
we know so little, but
there's not a men's makeup section. Just for like hair dye. There's a just for men section.
Yeah, there needs to be a man's makeup section.
And it probably works no different than the women's hair dye, but they just market it to men and they put it on a different aisle so that men don't crap their pants when they have to make a decision about coloring their hair.
For men, it needs to be, the makeup section needs to be way smaller. And it just needs to be, it needs to be this machine that you walk up to and it takes a picture of your face and then it just tells you what you're supposed to get.
That should be in LA. I mean, with all the guys wearing makeup out here, there should be like a red box for men's makeup.
Boy,
I don't think you can justify more than that, but it's like a photo booth.
But it needs to be a booth that you can't see a guy in there because it'd be ashamed.
It's like going to a strip club or something.
Yeah.
There's like a wall that you have to park behind or something.
Right, yeah.
So you park behind a wall and then you get in a booth and get makeup.
Okay, well, we'll continue to work on that. The Fowler sisters are going to continue to work on this beauty and fashion empire that they have created.
Yeah, let them know what you think of the ear biscuit. Tweet at them, Elle Fowler, and Blair's is Juicy Star 007. So let them know what you think. Hashtag ear biscuits. Also, let us know.
Yes, and we look forward to you being with us next week. We do not wear makeup while we do ear biscuits. I do want to make that clear because you don't see us and have not an ounce of makeup on right now. Proud to say it, and proud to say I won't next week.